Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Teenish Podcast. I'm Michael. This is Gene. Today we're going to be talking about dropping out. Your thoughts, Gene?
My thoughts of dropping out. First, Michael, we both have hats.
oh, look. Is this the first podcast we both have hats on?
Yeah.
This is the first video podcast we
both
have
hat
hats
new?
on. This is a new hat, yes.
Yeah, it's fitting like it's a new hat.
Yeah.
I hate hats that fit like that, but you see, yeah, we like two different style hats. I like the sports looking hats. So you see, I got my YMCA hat on.
I normally
usually wear yours backwards.
But
it looks stiff.
It's brand new.
You gotta work it in.
To wear it
Okay. Well, hey, but I'm repping my. What is it?
YMCA.
Yeah, and then you got AEW wrestling. You just went to how was that, Michael?
That was a great show. It was a great show. I'd love to do it again.
So one thing about Michael and I, the reason why we really became really close friends was because that we really loved wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
And unfortunately, I don't watch wrestling anymore because I have no time to watch wrestling. But Michael, on the other hand, loves wrestling still. And there's nothing wrong with that. You tell people why you like wrestling, Michael.
I'm legitimately obsessed with wrestling. I don't think I've ever met someone in my life that is as crazy for wrestling as me.
As you? Really? Okay.
As me.
Okay.
Yeah. Dude, you know how psycho I am.
I know. I can ask you a random thing.
Hold on.
Okay,
right now, I'm going to tell you right now how obsessed I am with wrestling. I spent last night and the night before that, 2 a.m. in the morning, all the way till 7 o'clock in the morning, watching wrestling.
The reason why I stopped watching wrestling was because, you know why?
CM Punk left.
I know you're about to say CM Punk left. Not that. It was.
That's exactly why you stopped watching anything.
It was because I missed the episode of Raw Monday night. I had Taekwondo. I was like, okay. My trainer knew that I love watching wrestling. So after practice, what time Raw used to come on? 8 o'clock?
9 o'clock.
9 o'clock.
Nowadays it comes on 8 o'clock.
Yeah. I think back then it came on at 9. So I'll be rushing, throwing my belt all over the place, trying to get home. And he was like, why are you rushing? He said, I know you're about to watch some wrestling. So, you're darn tootin', I'm about to watch some wrestling. And then I missed the episode. I was like, okay, all right. And SmackDown, I like SmackDown on Fridays, but of course nobody wants to watch something that's not even live.
I feel like I was the only person that actually watched SmackDown.
I watched SmackDown too, Michael. I used to come to your house, eat the little chicken wings that y'all used to make, the little homemade chicken wings. But yeah, I kept missing episodes, and I was like, it's gonna take too much time trying to go back in time because you miss wrestling. You're not gonna understand the story. You're not gonna understand the plot line.
Way too much storyline.
And then I remember when I stopped watching. I mean, if I wanted to, I can start back and then I'm not about to do that because I have a life. But you stay current with it, so that's how you're able to still watch it. And even when you miss it, best believe he recorded it somewhere. Or he's gonna be on his tablet somewhere trying to find out how to watch it because he be putting me through some stress. Like it's my fault that I can't get it on the TV. He was like, Gene, you can't make it work. I looked at this website. Can you make it go on the TV?
I've done that.
I'm like, I don't know how to work this. You going on illegal websites trying to watch wrestling now.
Okay, so actually, by the way, first time ever watched New Japan Pro Wrestling.
What wrestling?
Paid for
Wait,
it.
say that again.
Last night was the first time I ever watched New Japan Pro Wrestling.
Oh, okay.
And paid for it.
Interesting.
No illegal piracy for me. Not anymore.
Yeah. But something that should become illegal. No, I'm just playing. But something that Michael and I are talking about is teen dropouts. And of course, we always like to give the backstory on why we chose it. But I don't know why we really, it just.
Okay, so.
I do kind of know, but why did you pose this topic?
So I personally thought that this would be a great topic to talk about because I have had multiple friends and people around me that I know drop out. And I feel like it's a important cause to talk about. Definitely.
And to really understand the reasons why many people may drop out, because dropping out doesn't mean that they didn't want to do the work or that they couldn't do the work. There's a lot of other things and a lot of reasons, especially while researching this podcast, that we came across like, wow, like I didn't even know that somebody would have even needed to do that because of school or stuff like that. And also, I second the opinion of doing this podcast was because it's the new year. That's when most people drop out, is the transition from Christmas break back into school. That's when most people drop out. And although we're still in January, that's when that transition really happens. And then for seniors, of course, it gets close to like graduation. Like it's either graduation or no, I'm dipping. So we do have friends. I've had not plenty of friends, but I can count of 1 or 2 people that have dropped out, but successfully came back at least to graduate. And that's something that I'm glad to have even said that, so we can keep our 100% graduation rate at my school that we have, to make sure that everybody that comes in as a freshman, that sticks around for a sophomore, junior year, and senior year, and that decide to graduate with our school, that they are going to graduate. And that's something that my school does a great job with. And I commend the counselors, the teachers, the faculty, professionals that we have at my school. And then even in Duval County, to make sure that we keep that quota high and to make sure that we hit that mark to where everybody graduates when they come into freshman year, and they're going to know that they're going to graduate when they get to senior year. All right. So when Michael and I started talking about this topic, I didn't know that a lot of people actually drop out. Now, I don't even know how to drop out. I don't know. You just you just leave school, or like,
I thought you just stopped going to school.
Right.
Not 100% sure
now,
how.
like I said, I know people that have attempted to drop out, but I don't know if they dropped out because they still graduated. So with our school, so that wasn't really a dropout. But I looked up a stat. So over 1.2 million people drop out every year. And so I went down into it some more. That means that every 26 seconds, somebody drops out, or 7,000 people drop out a day. Now, I don't know how to drop out. I'm not saying I want to drop out, but that's a lot of people that's dropping out
a whole
in
lot
America.
Of people that's dropping out.
Yeah, and then that makes us the leading nation of people that drop out of high school. And that's very surprising to see that we have a lot of people dropping out. But Michael and I, we're going to get into the details a little bit about why people may drop out, and then ways that we can combat that issue that we see a lot with people dropping out. And so the first thing you were talking about earlier, the first story, the one that actually made it in, you were talking about like family circumstances.
Yeah.
And when we were in the car coming over here, you were talking about the Hardy Boys.
Okay, yeah. So I think the Hardy Boys
wrestling, by the way.
Don't hold me
again.
to it. Don't hold me to it. I think they dropped out to start working in tobacco fields.
Now,
So,
why did they just?
Okay, so their family was tobacco farmers, and
So they went to work then.
they went to work. Yeah.
All right. So that's one thing. One thing is to go to work to take care of your family. Like if you have like somebody die in your family or income that is lost, it's either you make the decision, okay, am I going to continue going to high school? You may have a couple more years left, or am I going to go work, try to help my family, whatever it may be, to make ends meet. And that's sometimes the decision that people have to make. And I thank God that we never had to make that decision. And for a lot of people that never had to make the decision from either going to school or going to work to take care of your family, friends, siblings, anybody that may be in your family. Something that we really don't recognize now, because I'm not 18 yet. So hopefully I can still be tried as a child if anything happens. But the law, like if you get arrested, I mean, you can't go to school. I mean, you can try to go to school.
There might be like an online program, maybe. I don't know.
No, but I know it's not funny, but
it's
very serious. Yeah. But getting in trouble with the law, that can be another reason why people may drop out, and that may result in people going to go get their GEDs. And I was talking to Michael about this earlier, about the new things that they're trying to do with the GED. And at first, did you like it or didn't like it? And then you switched.
Okay, so I didn't understand what he was saying at first, and I thought it actually made a whole lot of sense and was good.
So at first I said that they switched the GED to online, and they did switch it online, but they switched the actual taking the test online. You're still going into class and stuff like that. But he was saying that.
Yeah. Okay. So I thought that it was, you didn't have to go in anymore, and it would save some embarrassment from not graduating and stuff like that. That's not the case. You still have to go into the class. The test is just online.
That's just only I'm pretty sure there's some way you can do it on the internet, like some way, somehow. But I know that the testing is done on the internet to make sure that they pour all the resources that they need into actually teaching people and making sure that they really understand. And you also get your results right away on the internet. Now, although we're the first generation to take stuff on the internet, that's why I said it may be a little shocker to some adults to take things like to take tests online, because of course we're used to it.
Yeah, we've been exposed to technology.
Love it or not like it, but yeah, for people that never have taken anything online, that can be something new. But it can also help when it comes to translating, trying to make sure that everybody can understand it, everybody can see it, and you get the score right away, and you can have the opportunity to take it more and more. I think you get up to 3 chances to take the test. But I think that's a very good thing that the GED program is doing. And there's also another program that's similar to GED. GED is just a brand.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. That I learned that from other podcasts. GED is just a brand. You can get some other, I think it's another test, LSAT or something like that. Not LSAT, but something like that that's similar to that. But another reason why people may drop out of high school is just because education is not a priority to them, and not knocking anybody's game that they have going on. But like, if I know that I want to be a farmer, like you were talking about earlier, and I know that getting a high school diploma may not benefit me in doing what I want to do, that may be the result that the pathway that I may take, because it's not.
I mean, there are necessary reasons, I guess you could say, for dropping out. But I still believe that even though you might not need education, I feel like it's still something useful that you could use. Yeah,
because a lot of people know, like, college. They know, okay, I don't want to go to college, but I can still be successful. We can just sit here and just keep naming names, people that didn't graduate from college. You don't have to go to college. And that's one thing that I don't want to say like our society has put on us. I mean, I'm going to college. I want to go to college just because. I mean, hey, I'm gonna keep going. But you don't have to go to college to be successful, especially if you know that your career options or career field doesn't necessarily need that. But we do say that high school, everybody should make that like on their list to complete is high school.
Okay, so are we going to go to the how to decrease?
So now we're going to talk about how to decrease dropout rates. And Michael and I, we came up with a little list. And this is just our personal opinions on why we think or how we can combat the issues of dropout rates in America. Mm-hmm. So the first thing that we say to decrease the dropout rates is to engage with like your parents and then also people that are at your school. So building a relationship. So just knowing that I'm not going to school just to go to school, just to make sure that my grades are good, but actually having conversations with your teachers, friends,
and students,
your classmates and stuff like that, just to make sure that you know that you have other people to rely on, not only at the house, but to rely on at the school if anything happens. And then the next thing is to pay attention to the warning signs. So for your friend that dropped out, were there any warning signs that you saw?
I personally did not notice a thing.
You saw him and then you didn't see him?
I saw him and then didn't see him.
So how did you know that he dropped out?
Okay, we stayed in contact a little bit after he dropped out. He told me that, his mom and stuff and needed to work and all that.
Okay, so
stuff.
his reason was to go to work and to help out the family, right? And that's something that we may not even realize, because you can be friends with somebody and not even know what they have to go through on a daily basis. You don't know what they have to do after school. I work after school, but my income is not keeping up this household that I live in. So
definitely not.
So, but I do think getting a job at a young age is definitely good. And we talked about how to get a job as a teen. We talked about that last year, 2019. And we learned a lot about some people it's good for some people it's not good. Some people just may want to focus on sports, extracurriculars that they have going on. And then some people may actually let me get a jump start into the workforce. Let me already have experience when I graduate from high school going into college. That already looks good, knowing that you worked 2 to 3 years already before you even gotten into college, or even before you started making out steps for your future career goals.
Yeah, another thing that you can do is make learning relevant. So like making it important to learn, like, you know, getting into what you're learning.
Yeah. And that's something I do a lot. Now, I talk a lot with my teachers. Like I try to make the learning, I don't know why. Well, it's just my personality. Like I can be sitting in the class, just teachers teaching, and I'm gonna say something I gotta say, like just to make the learning environment interesting for me, because that's how I'm able to remember like what's happening in the class. Like, oh, I remember I made that joke, and then a keep and then keep going because I remember what I was doing. And it's just me. I've always been like that, even in elementary.
I was about to say, you've been doing that for quite some time.
That's how we got separated in all of our classes.
Yeah. A lot of talking going on.
Yeah. And then favorite, what is it? Teacher's pet?
Yeah. You were always a teacher's pet. Yeah. Always sitting by the teacher.
No, 4th grade, I was the ultimate teacher pet.
Yeah.
I used to make her coffee, Miss Scott's coffee. I used to know how. I knew exactly how she liked it.
Okay, so I also love how she moved us, but we were like legit only like 14 feet away from each other. Like,
so if her desk was like right here, I was sitting in front of her desk, and then you were sitting right there. Like
like we could still easily talk to each other.
Yeah, and we still would. Yeah. I'll look at her and then start talking to you. But yeah, I miss Miss Scott. We got to find out.
That was a good year.
Yeah, we got to find out where Miss Scott is right now.
Yeah,
she's in Virginia, right?
Virginia, I think so.
Yeah.
I think she's in Virginia.
Yeah, but today we talked a lot about dropouts. Of course, we know people that have dropped out. But the reason why Michael and I wanted to do this episode was to combat that issue and to kind of inform people about why people may drop out or even about it. Now, we didn't tell you how to drop out. And that was for a reason, because we don't want you to drop out. But of course, you know your circumstances, you know what's happening in your family. And so you know what necessary steps that you have to take. But it's 2020 and Michael and I, we're still catching the 2020 vision. So